Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Susan, and today in this video I'm going to share with us how to make this skirt and this shirt. We're going to learn how to make an inner pocket. We're going to learn how to make a button down shirt. If this sounds like what you like to learn, stay on the line guys while we get started. This is actually the second part of this tutorial, so we've already drafted it, and so this particular one we are just going to be stitching everything together. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much guys for always coming back, and to you that just came across my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you. Let's get started guys. So this is the skirt. This is the skirt. We've already drafted it in a previous video. I'll drop the link on our subscription button so you can check it out. So this is it. This is the front, and this other part is the back. So I'm going to go ahead now to join it together. You can see the back is two. We cut it into two. So we are going to go ahead now to join the sides first. This is an inner sewing. So we're going to go ahead to join the sides with half an inch. So we're also going to repeat the same for the lining. We're going to join them separately also. This is it. After I was done joining the lining, this is what it looks like. I've gone ahead to fold the down part of the lining. So when I was done stitching, I'm going to iron open the seams. Yeah, so it will be flat and neat. So when I was done, I also went ahead to add interfacing to the waist measurement so it doesn't expand, because this Ankara is actually stretchy. So when I was done at that point where we actually have the joining for the sides, I'm going to open it and I'm going to add this pocket into it. We're just going to sew the pocket right side facing right side. Repeat the same for this other side. You can see the bigger part is down while the smaller part of the pocket is up. So when I was done stitching, I added facing to this my pocket, because in case the person is putting their hand, so it is the Ankara that will be showing. So I added facing to it. So when I was done, I'm just going to go ahead now and stitch it with half an inch. You can see I'm going to go ahead now to stitch everything with half an inch. And when I was done, this is how it is. Look at how it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it for you guys to see. This is how it's going to be on the skirt. This is it. So the part that is showing is not the black, it's actually the Ankara. So that's our pocket neatly done. So after that, I'm just going to measure the waist measurement. I'm going to measure what we have here, measure everything round so we can go ahead to cut our band. Remember, we are using 2 inches band because we minus 2 inches from our length. So we are going to also use that 2 inches to complete the length. So I've gone ahead to add interfacing to my band. It's just a straight band of about 5 inches because I'll be using half inch for seam allowance. So I'm going to notch the midpoint. When I'm done notching the midpoint, I also notch the midpoint of the waist of the skirt, and I'm just going to go ahead now to stitch it together that way. And when I was done, I'll also go ahead now to stitch it this other way. And when I was done, this is what we have. I'm going to open it and I'm going to iron it. So now I brought my lining. I'm going to attach my lining to it. Remember, the lining, we stitch it the same way we stitch the skirt. So I'm just going to attach my lining to it, front side facing front side. You can see I'm putting it on top. So when I was done stitching it, I'm going to flip it over to the main bodies, so it's going to give us that neat finishing. All the seams are inside. So this is it. When we're done, at that point I didn't finish everything at the ending part of this band, because you have to make it smooth, except you just want to leave it like that and maybe weave it or something. So I notch the down part, and I'm going to also go ahead now to stitch that place down. When I was done, I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to open it. Remember, I left about half an inch before finishing up the skirt. That's on the lining and on the main fabric. So this is it. We have extra half inch at the back, so we are going to use it to complete, to turn the side of that lining and where the zipper is going to be. Yes, so we are going to use it to turn it down that way. So we just stitch it with half an inch, and that's going to give us neat finishing at that particular point. When I was done, I'm just going to flip it over for you guys to see how it is. So this is how it is, guys. This is it. So I'm going to go ahead and now and place this skirt this way, and I'm going to take the waist measurement of the skirt. And when I'm done at the waist measurement, from the waist measurement, I'm just going to go ahead and attach my zipper to that point. But before then, I'm going to go ahead now to join the sides. Yes, so whatever I have as my zipper, which is going to be about 2 or 1 inch, whatever I have, I'm just going to go ahead now to close it down. I'll just close it that way. I'll just close it. Then I'm going to remain part, and I'm going to fold it and fold it down, and that's it for the skirt. So this is the top, this is the shirt. So because the fabric is not enough, so I'm going to manage it. That's why I actually cut it on pattern paper, so adjust the back on pattern paper so I can transfer it. So I'm going to go ahead now to join them. I've added allowance to it. So when I'm done joining it, it's only the parts, it's only the at the back that there is this joining, because the fabric was 3.5 inches, so it was not enough. So this is the only way I can manage it. So went ahead to cut it, and I'm going to join it back. So this is the front. Our buttonhole is going to be at the where you're going to attach your buttonhole is going to be at the right side for female. So I'm just going to, you remember we added 2.05 inches, so I'm going to go ahead to fold it with half inch first. Then I'm also, after the half inch, I'm going to fold it again with 1 inch, and that will be, we've used a 2.5. So I'm just going to go over to the machine and I'm going to stitch it straight down. I'm going to stitch it straight. Mind you, I added Amy gum to it. I'm going to add Amy gum to the buttonhole side. When I was done, this is how it is, guys. I added paper stay to it. Yeah, you can add any interfacing of your choice. So that was it when I was done. So this is the back. I'm just going to bring the back and place it this way to actually stitch there, and then stitch this other side together. So let's keep that aside and let's cut this sleeve. So it's actually a short sleeve. So our round measurement is about 16, and the length of this sleeve is about 9. So I went ahead and I came down by 4 inches for the down part of this for my armhole. Then at the cap I came up by 2.05. Then I just connected it. You can see how I connected it. I just connected it 4 inches at this other side, and then 2.05 at this other side. This is a shade, doesn't really have to be so deep. So I'm just going to confirm if I have here. For you to know the fabric to actually fold, you can use your round measurement and add some inches. So you can see when I was done, I have my armhole and I have extra allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead now to take 9 inches for a sleeve, and I'm going to add 2 inches for seam allowance, because there is actually big folding at the down part. So as you're doing it there, you're also going to do it at this part. They are going to be equal at that part. So you go ahead and add the allowance, and after that you're going to take around sleeve measurement divided by 2, and you're going to add allowance to read. So I'm going to add about 1.05 inches as seam allowance for the sleeve. And that's basically it, guys, for the sleeve. So I just want to confirm again my round sleeve, if I have it, my armhole measurement plus the allowance. So I'm just going to connect from there. I'll connect it down just like that. Then I'll just go ahead now to cut it. And so our sleeve is actually ready. So I'm just going to place it on this other part, or this other fabric. This is the only fabric I have left. I'm going to place it on this particular fabric, and I'm going to add interfacing to it. Yes, I was supposed to add interfacing on the body, but I actually added it on the allowance, so that's okay. So you just fold it by ½ inch, and you're going to stitch it to knitting that place. So when I was done, I'll do the same for the other side. And after that, guys, we're just going to go ahead now to, I've already gone ahead, look at this, the body here. So I've gone ahead to like remove this black, because when I was done cutting the sleeve and everything, I had some fabric left, so I use it to replace the black. The black will be off because the black was very light. It's a senator material, and this Ankara is 100% cotton, so it was too light. So this is me just going to stitch the sleeve on the fabric. You can see on the armhole, we are going to stitch it just this way. Going to stitch it round, going to stitch it round. I'll repeat the same for the other one. When I was done, this is how it is, guys. So I'm going to go ahead now to do the same for the other one, and I'm going to open it and iron it very well so it will be flat. So this is what we have, guys. After I, this is how it's going to be. You can see, go ahead and iron, open it and iron so it to be smooth and nice. So after that, I'm going to join this the side seams. Look at it, by the allowance that we added. So you're just going to go ahead and join it straight down by the allowance that you added. And after that, I'm going to go ahead now to measure the round neck. Let's see what we have at the round neck. So after I was done, this round neck that we've measured, we are going to use it on fold to cut our collar. Actually, if you've watched this video to this point, please go ahead to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Please like this video so YouTube will recommend it. Thank you so much. And now let's go ahead to cut the collar. So I've placed this, is actually a soft, is a gum stay, but it's a soft one, so that's the one I want to use. So I've already gone ahead to mark 2 inches up. So from that 2 inches, I'm going to, you can mark as long as you want, how you want your collar to be. So I'm just going to mark around neck divided by 2, and I'm going to go ahead now to draw a straight line. So there, I'm not going to add allowance on this particular collar. Like when I'm this gum, I'm not adding allowance. So I came up by ½ inch. From that 2 inches, I came up by ½ inch, and from there I'm just going to look for the midpoint, and I'm going to mark, because I want it to be a little bit slanted. I don't want it to be straight over there. So that's the reason why I'm like doing it this way, because our neck are not actually that straight, they are kind of round. So this is what I just did over there. So from there, I'm going to measure about, my collar stand is going to be about 1.05 inches. So I'm just going to measure 1.50 inches round from there, from that ½ inch. So I'm just going to go ahead now and mark that 1.05 all across. So that's it. After that, I'm just going to go ahead now to mark it. So that's a color stand, guys. So all my measurements are going to be from that particular line. They're going to be from that particular line. Let me just mark this one this way so there'll be no confusion. So after that, my collar, I want it to be 2 inches. So I want it to be 2 inches. So I'm just going to mark 2 inches from that point. Yeah, 2 inches from that point. With this, I don't need to come down again because it's not going to be straight already. You get, so there is, I've already done the contouring that I should have done. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that 2 inches, which is what I want for my collar. So I'm just going to go ahead now to draw this line straight. So after that, at the down part of that collar stand, I'm just going to come up by about 1 inch. So after I came up by about 1 inch, I'm just going to go ahead now to draw it this way straight. Yeah, so just draw it straight. So this is our collar. Actually, our collar is ready. So I'm just going to go ahead at this back part. I'm just going to go ahead and come up by about quarter of an inch, just quarter of an inch. I'm still going to go ahead now to connect it to the midpoint of this collar, like that. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead now. We are done actually. So this is actually our collar, and the down part is our collar stand. So I'm just going to go ahead now to cut it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before we cut it out completely, I actually forgot to curve the collar stand. Yeah, it's not supposed to be straight, but some people, you can use it straight if you want. It all depends on what you want. So I don't want it to be straight, so I'm going to come down by half an inch and then come up by half an inch, come down by half an inch, and just connect it. Just connect it from that point. So just let it be a little bit curvy. That's it. It's just to curve a little bit, and that's just it. So I'm just confirming. So I just want to extend. You can leave it this way, or you just extend that place, or you can leave it. It all depends on what, if you want the collar to be pointy, depends on what you want. If you want it to be pointy, then yes, you can come up by like that and just blend it that way. So that's it. So that part is no longer needed. So I'll just go ahead now to cut. After cutting, I'll just place it on a cloth unfold, because I want to cut both the interfacing, I want to cut both the facing and the main fabric. So I just, that's why I'm doing it unfold, like it's double. The Ankara is actually double unfold. So that's the facing and the main fabric. So I'm just going to cut it this way randomly. This is all the fabric we have left. So I'm going to make use of it like that. So after I was done, this is what we have, guys. So one for one part and the other for the other part. So I'm going to go ahead now to gum it. I'm going to gum it to the wrong part. I'll place it this way and I'm going to gum it to the wrong part of this collar. So when I was done gumming it, I'm going to go ahead now to stitch it. I'll stitch it following the collar gum. You can see. So you're just going to stitch it. So when I was done stitching it, I'm just trimming it so that it's going to be smooth. After I was done, I'm also going to trim this place. What you should be having here is half inch should be left. I'm just going to go ahead now to trim it and make sure that half inch will be left, that I'm going to use in joining the collar to the neck. So when I was done, I would turn it over to the front side and I'm going to iron it very well. So this is what we have. Go ahead and notch the midpoint of this collar. So when I was done, I'm also going to go ahead to notch the midpoint of the neck, round neck, and after that I'm going to pick this particular one and I'm going to go ahead now to join it right side to right side. I'm going to join it right side to right side and I'm going to stitch it that way, and I'll also turn left and I'll stitch it this other way. So when I was done, this is what we have. When I was done, this is what we have, guys. You can use Amy gum to make it easier for you. So just pull that one in, then that half inch that you left, you're going to use it now to finish up that, tuck everything in and then stitch on top of this collar. So when you are done, when you come to the front, when you come to this other part, you're going to also tuck in everything. You can see you tuck in everything and make sure that it's smooth because this part is going to be showing. So you're just going to stitch it that way, straight. Go ahead now to also fold the down part of this. I'll fold it first by half inch and then fold it again by 1 inch, and that is it. So guys, when I was done, this is the outcome of the shirt. You can see the collar and this is the skirt. It's actually a 3/4 skirt because the fabric was not enough. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This is where we come to the end of our tutorials for today. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe, turn on the notification button, and please like this video. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate. Go ahead and watch the cutting part so you understand better. You can see our collar is sitting very well. You can see our sleeve. Make sure you iron everything. Thank you so much and see you in my next one. Bye.